In this final tutorial of the 3-part mini-series about balconies, we'll focus on distributing hanging plants along the edges. While you could use ForestIvy alone by drawing a growth spline for each balcony, that approach is quite time consuming and it's impractical for buildings with 10s, 20s or hundreds of balconies, especially if the size or the shape is likely to change during the design process. Instead, we'll combine ForestIvy to create small clumps or plants and ForestPack to distribute them for a more efficient and flexible workflow. So first, we'll create a temporary piece of geometry to guide ForestIvy's growth for our hanging plants. To make drawing on the balconies using AutoGrid a bit easier, I'm going to temporarily change their display mode to mesh. That way I can easily enable AutoGrid and draw a polygon on the balcony roughly the size that I would like a single hanging plant's maximum spread to fill. I'm going to align its back edge with the spline to ensure proper orientation later. Then just use 3ds Max's standard modelling tools to adjust the object, simplifying it to represent the general shape of the balcony's edge. This will guide ForestIvy's growth and prevent unwanted expansion towards the building or along the railings or spreading out across the deck. And then finally align the temporary geometry's pivot to match the edge of the spline. This ensures that when ForestPack distributes the plants later, they will align correctly to this geometry. So with the guide geometry ready, we can grow our first hanging plant using ForestIvy. We'll create a new ForestIvy object and open the library browser. Load a preset plant, in here we'll use the bougainvillea preset, then add the temporary polygons that we just created as the surface for ForestIvy to grow on. Draw a growth spline along the back edge and increase the growth value to see immediate results. Depending on the growth pattern, you may need to modify the settings to make the plant trail downwards. So in this case, we'll set the climbing value to a negative number to stop it climbing vertically and start it pulling towards the ground, and increase the gravity to help with the plants that become detached from the surface. We can also adjust the attraction and other parameters for a more realistic look. Once we are happy with the overall look of the plant, to avoid repetition, we'll want to generate multiple variations. In order to do that, we can see that in ForestIvy, the random seed option allows you to create variations of a plant without changing any other settings. And if you animate this value, then each frame will generate a different variation. To bake out those variations using the snapshot tool, set the range of frames to match your keyframes, and then set the number of plants you want to generate. Turn on Mesh to create static versions of each plant, and make sure you set the ForestIvy's display mode to mesh before running the process. Note that snapshot doesn't work if ForestIvy's display mode is set to quick mesh. Now that you have your variations, let's adjust the pivots. Enable effect pivot only and initially center them to their objects. Next, use the align tool, change the mode to pivot, and match the Y and Z positions of the surface that we originally grew the ivy on. Remember, because we set this object's pivot to match the spline earlier, it means that when the plants are distributed on the balconies, they'll grow in the correct position. With that done, we'll now use ForestPack to distribute these small hanging plants along the balcony splines. So with the 5 plant variations selected, create a new ForestPack object in icon mode. Don't forget you can enable populate from scene selection to automatically add the plants to the geometry list, or add them manually if you prefer. In the distribution rollout, change the mode to path. Add the balcony spline and adjust the spacing until there are no gaps between the plants. Now, if you watched the previous tutorial, you'll remember that the back edge of the spline has a different material ID. We can use this to prevent plants from appearing where the balcony meets the wall. Now, as you can see, there's no option for this in the distribution rollout, but it can be achieved using a forest effect. So if you go to the forest effect rollout and then click to add a new effect. Next, open the effects browser and load the path distribution limit to spline material ID effect. And then all you need to do is to change the value to 1 to exclude the material ID 2, which is used for the back edge. And then finally, let's add some realism by tweaking randomization settings and introducing some gaps in the distribution. So will it enable randomization for scale and rotation in the transform rollout? I'd avoid excessive translation randomization to keep the plants aligned loosely with the balcony edges. To introduce gaps into the distribution so it's not a solid wall of plants, we can add a new object to the geometry list and then set the type to disabled. Each time this object is picked, a gap is created instead. You can control the frequency of gaps by adjusting the null object's probability setting. And here's a little tip. You can simplify probability management by converting the 5 plant variations we can see here in the geometry list to a single forest set, simply by selecting them from the geometry list and right-clicking to access this option from the menu. As you can see, this simplifies the probability adjustments by consolidating them into a single entry alongside the null object. Multiple other plants could also be added as additional forest sets to create a more varied appearance if you like. And that brings me to the end of this tutorial. In this tutorial, we've combined the strengths of ForestIvy and ForestPack to efficiently distribute hanging plants along balcony edges. This method keeps the entire process procedural and easy to update. With this flexible workflow, you're now ready to tackle complex balcony visualizations in no time.